We have our VS Code hint, tip, and trick of the week, and this is a newer one, but I wanted to spotlight it because I thought it looked pretty cool. And basically, it's filtered directories. Now, I know in VS Code you can already, start typing and you can sort of filter a folder, but what this one allows you to do is actually go and select a folder and then say add to my filtered view. And so under filtered view, it'll just show the pieces of the site that you actually want to jump to. So maybe you're working on a site and you've got some handlers and some views, but there's all this other stuff in between. You can actually just add those two folders into your filtered view, and then you'll be able to easily jump between them. And so if you've got a huge site and you're only caring about 2 different folders or 3 different folders, you could just add them into that list. And then that way under your filtered folders, you'll just see the ones you actually care about. So it's kind of nice. And it doesn't mean you have to keep typing every time. You can just say, these folders are the ones I care about in the site, and just got a nice, easy way to view them. So pretty simple, but again, sometimes the best ones are that simple, right? So, yep, it's called FilDir or Filter Directories. Again, pretty simple, and just one of those things I saw on Twitter. I'm like, ooh, that's kind of a cool idea. So
I wonder if there's like a point. There's tons of cool extensions of VS Code. So I wonder, is there a point where you can have too many, where it slows things down, or?
Yeah, and to be honest, it depends on what the filter, or what the extension is doing. So I know a lot of them, you've got linters and formatters, and you've got all these different things. For a lot of the ColdFusion one, it scans all your components, so it can try and give you some, autocomplete stuff and some insights, metadata and everything else, and so it has to scan your file. So if your sites are huge, or you just have it where you open your dub folder and there's a million sites in there, and you put a bunch of extensions that is actively watching files and everything else, then it can become an issue, I think. But it all depends on which ones you're using. And usually if you're using too many that do the same things, that's where you get issues. But it's good every once in a while just go turn off a few things and then basically work without them. And then you're like, oh man, I really missed this. I'll go turn it back on. Because sometimes I don't even know which extension is doing what, because there's so many great ones out there, but you kind of get confused with which one's doing what. So yes, maybe a little task. Turn them all off and then see which ones you miss, and then go turn those back on. But there are definitely a lot of cool ones, and just stuff like this, it's a pretty cool little feature. So hopefully you guys enjoy that one too. And then, John was saying workspaces with multiple projects loaded. Yeah, that's sort of the thing. If you have a workspace with a lot of them, that can be an issue. The other thing too is when you're sharing, like LifeShare shares the workspace. If you have multiple sites, you can put them all in one workspace. It makes it easy to share, but then there's way more files in that workspace. So depends. If you got more monitors, you just have more VS Code windows. But
I guess I only ever limit one site per workspace for some reason. That just makes more sense to me. But
yeah, I mean, if you got like an API and a front end, it makes sense to have both folders in there, I think, depending on how you set your stuff up anyway. But yeah, a lot of times I basically just open folders. So with the workspaces, it helps. So okay, well, that was our VS Code hint, tip, and trick of the week. Brought to you by Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition, proudly sponsored by Order Solutions. You can see the new episodes every week on cfmlnews.modernizeordie.io or on the Order Solutions YouTube channel.